Are you willing to lose everything that you've ever had? Friends, family, business, for the sake of Jesus Christ? What's up, what it is? Welcome back to Danny's Place. It's your boy Danny, and I'm glad to have each and every person back on the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell, like the video, because it will get pushed out so many people can see it as well. Okay, now before we get started, I just want to go ahead and thank everybody that's subscribed already. If you've been watching the videos, if you've been commenting in the comment section, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your interest in my videos. All right, now we got an interesting video today that we're gonna go ahead and react to. Now I will have the full video in the description section if you want to go ahead and check out the full thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and react to a certain part that kind of touched me when I watched this video today. All right, please make sure you watch the full video today. Hit up that comment section, let me know exactly what your opinions are in regards to what we're going to go ahead and discuss today. Now we're going to go ahead and watch the video, and at the end of the video I'm going to go ahead and do my 2 cents, give my opinion, and read a scripture that actually aligns with everything that's being said in this video. All right, so today we have a lady by the name of Ali Beth Stuckey. All right, so she has this Christian bridal designer on her channel talking about how she was basically infiltrated legally by the LGBTQ Mafia. All right, and the name of this young woman is Dominique Gilbert. All right, so she just gives a testimony, or basically a story of how, you know, she was hit up by this LGBTQ couple to design this dress for their wedding. But being a Christian, or being a woman of God, she denied that, and she stuck to her faith and said, no, I cannot do it, because that basically undermines what I believe in, what I'm about, and Jesus Christ will not be pleased with 2 women, you know, getting married. We do not honor that. All right, so I'm just going ahead and let her explain her story, and let me know what y'all think. Let's go ahead and get into it right now.
And you felt like making this jumpsuit would have been an affirmation and celebration of what God calls sin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By me, my making it is a cosign. And I would challenge Christians who would be like, oh, you know, I would go to a gay wedding, or, you know, I would have made the jumpsuit. And I'm just like, okay, what if you're the only Christian? What if you're the only Christian? What if you're the only person who walks in truth, right? That person knows.
Yeah.
And you, as the only person that walks in truth, gives a cosign. You're a representative of Christ, and you give a cosign, and you're the only Christian that they know, or the only Christian they encounter. What chance does that person have to hear the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to offend, but you're okay with offending God.
Yeah.
I think it's a thing that a lot of us Christians wrestle with, man. We rather please the world than we would pleasing God. We rather offend God than please man. And it's crazy that she point that out. I think Preston Perry and Jackie Hill Perry were talking about the same thing, and that rose up about, you know, if you knew like a Christian couple, or if your child was gay or anything like that, and they were getting married, would you go, or would you, you know, say no? And she answers the question perfectly right there. I would rather please God than go ahead and please man, because at the end of the day, man does not have an eternity for me, but God does. And it's better, you know, to lean onto the Lord rather than offend him. Than, you know, it's better to do that than, you know, affirm the will of man and be rejected by God. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to what else she got to say. I just had to put my 2 cents in really quick here.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah.
I'm afraid that we just don't take sin seriously enough. Like, if we really believed what God's word says about that sin kills us, all of us, that it's an abomination before him, that it's offensive to him. If we really cared about the holiness of God and the damage that sin causes someone, both physically and spiritually,
Yeah.
I don't think that we would equivocate on this. I don't think that we would be going to a ceremony to celebrate what God calls sin, what God calls iniquity, if we really took him at his word and if we really knew the gravity of
Right.
sin. I don't think that this would be hard, but really what it comes down to is that a lot of us, even people who identify as Christians, don't really think sin is that big of a deal. And that's where I think Satan comes in and has deceived us, that sin just isn't that big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like it's interesting because like American Christianity, like we're big on this grace thing now, you know, grace. And we're just like, and on the opposite side of that, I also see people who lean on grace. They don't lean on it for themselves. And what I mean by that is that I believe that there are some Christians who will not speak up on something like this, who are afraid to speak truth because of sin that's in their lives. That a lot of Christians are battling with sin in their lives. You know, they haven't forgiven themselves, or they haven't accepted the finished work of the cross and know that repent, turn to God, lean on God, like he'll forgive you. But that's no reason to say, okay, well, because I have sin in my life, or because I know what I did yesterday, because I know what I did last night, I have no right to speak on that. I have no right to speak truth. And that's a lie. So the enemy, he's working on all sides, right? Like keeping some people in this place of guilt, in this place of, well, who am I to judge? No, speak the truth, and speak it in love.
Yeah.
But speak the truth. Love is not silent.
Yeah. And it is grace that saves us, and grace is important, but it's supposed to compel us to obey and compel us to live holy lives empowered by Christ.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right there. But as I stated, if you want to go ahead and watch the full video, I have it in the description section, so you go ahead and check it out in the description section. So I love what these two ladies are talking about here. Oftentimes we find ourselves in that position where we feel like I'm not to judge. Who am I to judge? And as she pointed out, it's true, because we might have that sin that we're dealing with within our lives, and we feel like we haven't checked that sin, so we don't have the right to go ahead and speak to anybody about what they're dealing with. Or we can't talk about, same-sex marriage, or gay this, or lesbian that, or stealing, lying, or whatever it is, the sin that people are dealing with. And that's crazy, because all we do need to do is repent, check ourselves, look at the log in our eyes, fix ourselves with God. Then we'll be able to see clearly and be able to help others to lead them towards the way of Christ. All right. So let me go ahead and read a verse for you guys that aligns perfectly with this. I'm going to read Matthew chapter 10, verse 32 all the way down. It says, this is Jesus talking, and he says, "Whoever acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown before my Father in heaven. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemy will be the member of his own household." All right, you hear that? Jesus basically said, I ain't coming here to bring peace. Now, it's either you love me or you reject me, or you stand firm before me, acknowledge me before people, or I will disown you if you disown me as well. That's basically what Jesus is saying. Like, we need to come to a place as Christian, as people of God, we should already expect things like this. The world is so bold about their pride and about the way that they're living that they're not ashamed. So why should we be ashamed about who we believe in, who we trust in, and who is God in our lives? I think most of the time, man, we feel weak, and we feel like we can't talk about these things because, as she stated, we have sin in our life that we haven't checked ourselves. Now, if you listen further to this podcast from the beginning, she basically said that she was being sued by that couple, and she's required to pay $20,000 for discrimination in the state, and she's required to pay $5,000 to the couples, which is extremely crazy. nowadays. And then the crazy thing is the LGBTQ couple are basically making it seem like a race thing. You understand? It's like they're putting it next to, slavery, basically, because of discrimination against what I believe I am. And I believe that's right. So you must accept it as well. And you must offer a service to me, or else I'm going to sue you. And it's pretty sad to see. But I appreciate her boldness, her strength, and how she's anchored in the Lord. And we're going to continue to pray for you, sis. Continue to make sure that the Lord sees you through all of this, because, man, the world is completely upside down. Bitter is sweet, sweet is bitter, right is wrong, wrong is right now, and that's what we're dealing with now. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go in that comment section and let me know exactly what y'all think of this, man. It's a sad situation to see, and it only gets worse from here. You heard it. You heard Jesus himself. He said, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. And what does a sword do? It divides people. All right. Make sure you subscribe, hit the post notification bell, hop in that comment section. Make sure you seek the Lord Jesus Christ for yourself. Read the word for yourself. Get in prayer to him for yourself, because salvation is definitely personal. All right. Thank you guys so much. And I will see y'all in the next one right here at Danny's Place. Deuces.